Let's see how using a reasoning model like DeepSeek R1 supercharge your RAG pipeline. In this video, we're going to build a simple RAG pipeline without any external frameworks like LangChain or Llama Index. But this is going to be powered by a reasoning LLM. That's where today's sponsor, SambaNova Cloud, comes into play. More on them later in the video. Our RAG pipeline is going to have two different components. First is going to be the knowledge base creation step, and the second is going to be the generation step. During knowledge base creation, we'll take a bunch of PDF files, convert them into smaller chunks, then we'll use an embedding model to compute embeddings for those, and then we'll put those into a vector store. During the generation part, we'll get a query from the user, we'll embed that query using the same embedding model, we'll retrieve relevant chunks, we'll pass those relevant chunks along with the original query to a reasoning model to generate the final response. Now, usually you have another step like re-ranking the chunks that are returned by the retrieval process, but using a reasoning model can actually take care of this part. I'll show you an example later in the video. Okay, here's the code. There are two main files. One is indexing.py, which is the knowledge-based creation part. And then the second file is retrieval.py, which is the generation part. This code is going to be available on GitHub. Link is going to be in the video description. Now, first we need a data set. In this case, I am using 3 different papers on very diverse topics. So the first one is dealing with detection of COVID-19 from X-rays images. The second one is a bite weight estimation using commercial earbuds. This is related to using variable sensors to detect chewing bouts and then use those to estimate how much food intake was there. The third paper talks about another variable sensor which can detect chewing bouts again, and then it talks about signal processing techniques that you can use to segment those chewing bouts. Now, details of the papers are not important. This is just some research work that I did during my grad school. So let's start off by looking at the code. The first one is going to be indexing.py, which is the knowledge base creation part. First, we need to load our documents. So I have a folder called data. It basically looks at the folder, reads each PDF file, then extract text from each page. The only metadata that is being included is the file name. The next step is to chunk the documents. For this, we are using a naive chunking strategy. We take chunk size of 500 characters with 50 characters overlap. This is a very naive chunking strategy. There are other chunking strategies like semantic chunking or recursive character text splitter. You definitely want to look at some of those. In this example, I want to show you how a naive chunking strategy can still help if you're using a reasoning model. However, if you are interested in more advanced treatment of the topic, I'll highly recommend to check out my course called RAG Beyond Basics, which looks at advanced techniques at different components of your RAG pipeline. Link is going to be in the video description. Now, then we take those chunks and compute embeddings and put them in a vector store. Again, you have a number of different options for your embedding model. I am using an open weight embedding model that is available on Hugging Face. You can use any external API and the code will still work. So here it receives the chunks and then the function returns the computed embeddings for all of the chunks. Next, we need to put everything into a vector store. The choice of vector store in this case is Fias. It's an open source vector store. You can replace this with ChromaDB, Pinecone. Now, here's how the overall flow is going to look like. First, we'll take our documents. We'll compute chunks. The chunks are going to be passed on to the embedding model to create embeddings. And then we're going to use Fias to create our index. We also store the embeddings as a NumPy array and also take our original chunks and dump them into a JSON file. Here's how the JSON looks like. So for example, here is one chunk. The only metadata that is being stored is the file name along with the text of the chunk. Now let's talk about the generation part where we're going to retrieve chunks relevant to a query and then use a reasoning model to generate the final response. Now, during the retrieval process, we need the embeddings that we stored. We'll also load the chunks that were stored in the JSON file. And since we need to compute embeddings for our query, we also need to load the original embedding model. we are going to get input query from the user, and then we'll use this query rack system to generate the final response. So internally, we take the user query, compute embeddings for that query, then we use those embeddings to do a vector search. In this case, I want to retrieve the top 20 chunks that the embedding model thinks are most similar to the user query. Now, in general, you want to retrieve a very large number of chunks. So let's say close to 50 or 100. And then you want to use a re-ranking model in the middle, which will again re-rank the return chunks based on the similarity with the user query. However, since we are using a reasoning model, it has the ability to use the chain of thought reasoning to determine which chunks are more relevant to the user query. I'll show you an example later in the video. So we get the indices, and then we use those indices to get the corresponding text chunks. We put them together into a single text blob, and then we're going to print the text blob along with the user query. So this is going to be used as a context. Now, in order for the LLM to generate a response, we also need to give it some instructions. In the first part of the video, the instructions are going to be very simple. The augmented prompt is, please provide answer to the following question based on the provided context. If the context does not contain the answer, please respond with, I'm sorry, but the provided context does not have the information to your question. And then we append the context along with the original user query. Now, the LLM that we want to use is DeepSeek R1, but we're using the SambaNova Cloud. And the great thing is that they're using the OpenAI Python client, so it makes it very easy to switch the models. All you need to do is you need to provide the SambaNova API base URL along with the API key. And once you create the client, we pass on this augmented prompt, which also includes the user query, to the model to get the final response from the model. So what exactly is SambaNova? They are the creator of RDUs, which is an alternative to GPUs. They're calling it reconfigurable data flow units. Think of them as an alternative to Grok's LPUs. But unlike Grok, they're hosting the full DeepSeek R1 model, not the distilled version. And in fact, they are one of the fastest inference provider for DeepSeek R1, which can run up to 198 tokens per second, which is pretty crazy. And you can access DeepSeek R1 on their platform, both on their playground as well as through their API. So here they have a list of different open weight models. The full DeepSeek R1 is right at the top. Now, if I select that and send a query like this, the speed is pretty incredible. So here's the thinking process that it's generating along with the final output. You can see it's running at almost 160 tokens per second. So again, here is the reasoning process, which is pretty verbose. And then we have the final output. Now, you can sign up for free and start experimenting with the model here. Or if you are interested, you can also join the waitlist to get access to the API. So we need to provide the model name as R1. And the best part is that you're still using the OpenAI Python client. Once you have access to the API key, just click on Generate New API Key. And as a developer, you can get started for free. So here's how my configurations look like. I have a .env file where I'm storing my API key, then the SambaNova base URL, and then the model name. You'll notice that I am using a different API endpoint. This is during early access, but when the DeepSeek R1 model is available, you'll be able to use the normal API endpoint. Okay, let's run the retrieval code since I have already created my index. So in order to run the retrieval part, I'm going to run a Python retrieval.py. Let's run the command. Okay, now we can ask a question. So I'm going to say, what is the impact of byte size on intake? This is a very specific question. Let's see if it can actually figure out the answer. Now, first, let me show you the context that it is returning. So these are different documents, and you can see that since we're using a character-based chunking strategy, so you will see that in some cases, it simply splits the word right in the middle. Now, the first chunk is relevant because it talks about byte rate and its impact on reduction of intake. But then there are other chunks like this, which is simply a reference to a paper. Here's another reference to another paper, right? Some of the chunks are relevant, some of them are not relevant at all. The papers do not mention byte size, rather they talk about byte rate or number of chews per byte. But let's see what is the internal thinking process of DeepSeek R1. It says the user is asking about the impact of byte size on intake. I need to check the provided context to find relevant information. And then it looks through different documents. So for example, document 1 mentions reducing the byte rate, which is number of bytes per minute, may reduce energy intakes. It also refers to studies showing that increasing or decreasing the rate of intake affects energy intake, right? So it's on the right direction. Now, one thing you can notice is that it's referring to different documents. So if we were to prompt it to act as a re-ranker, a reasoning model will be able to do that. I'm going to show you an example later in the video. So it thinks that the key points are that increasing the number of chews per byte, which effectively reduces byte size, leads to reduced energy intake. Now it's really smart that it figures out that the context does not directly mention byte size, but discusses chews per byte, which relates to how much is consumed per byte. A smaller model may completely ignore this fact. So based on that, it comes up with a final response. Now, if I phrase the question as what is the impact of byte rate on intake, then again, it goes through a similar setup, but this time, since we're directly talking about rate, it doesn't mention that it's not directly discussed in the provided context. Now, the reasoning model can be used as a re-ranking model. So here's how we are going to do it. I have the original augmented prompt, but I added this. Before answering, analyze each document in the context and identify if it contains the answer to the question. Then it's supposed to assign it a score based on relevance to the question. It's also going to list the most relevant documents first and then answer the question based on those documents only. Now let's see what happens when we ask the same question. So in this case, it goes through each document individually during the thinking process, but at the end, it returns this list before answering the question. So document number 1 is 10 by 10 because it directly states that reducing byte rate may reduce energy intake. Now document number 2 references a study, slowing byte rate reduces energy intake, which in fact is a study which is irrelevant to the provided context. Now document 15 highlights that increasing chews per byte reduces the overall energy intake in both obese and normal individuals. In this case, it picked 5 documents out of the 20 documents that we provided based on the relevance, and it also provided relevance scores. So this is exactly what dedicated re-ranking model is going to do. So in fact, you can use a reasoning model directly to perform re-ranking, which is a crucial step of any robust RAG pipeline. So this was a quick example of how you can supercharge your RAG pipeline using a reasoning model. Now you can do a lot more. For example, you can use the reasoning model to operate your agentic workflows, which is going to be even a lot more critical because you need to have a reasoning and evaluation step whenever you are building a powerful agentic system. And since reasoning models generates a lot more token compared to non-reasoning models, you definitely need a very fast inference API endpoint. That's where providers like SambaNova comes into play. Do check them out. Now, let me know if you'll be interested in contents around agentic systems powered by DeepSeek R1 or other reasoning models. And also, what are you planning on building with this powerful model? Put them in the comment section below. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.